Thank you, students. Today I'm going to discuss the framework for HRD process. This is assignment 2, in which you have to design the training program. So in order to design the training program, you must first learn how the training program has been designed under the HRD. So the HRD efforts should use the following 4 phases, different 4 stages we need to keep in mind while designing the training program. The first is need assessment, design, implementation, and then evaluation. We will discuss all these stages one by one. The training system under the HRD process is actually comprises of 4 major stages. The first is needs assessment, is training objectives, and then the implementation, and the last stage is the evaluation of all those programs which have been executed by the organization. The training and HRD process model is actually initially start from the assessment, in which we assess the need of the employees, and then after assessing so many needs, we prioritize those needs, and after deciding that these 1 or 2 needs need addressed, or we need a training on those needs, then we define specific objectives, and after designing the objectives, we design a lesson plan, the materials we require to deliver the training. We have to select a trainer, leader, select methods and techniques, and then schedule the program and interventions. Third stage is implementation phase. After designing all this program, now you are able to deliver the training, and after delivering the trainings, you have to evaluate, and there are certain parameters for evaluation we will also discuss at the end. So the first phase, needs assessment phase, you have to address some need and gap within the organization. Need can be a current deficiency or new challenges. Current deficiency, for instance, within the organization, if employees are not able to perform certain tasks, or they are not capable enough to perform certain things, or their performance is not good at the organization, so organization plan certain activities or training in order to meet those deficiencies. Or maybe there are new challenges, new technology comes in, new systems comes into the organizations. So meet those challenges, HRD also plans certain training for the teams. It involves examining the organizations, its environment, job tasks, and employee performance. So in need assessment, you also focus that what kind of organizations you are looking for, what kind of organizations you have, its environment, the job task they perform, and the employee performance, the level of employee performance, what are their achievements, or what are their grades, or what are their performance. According to those performance, or according to those gap, you will design a new training program. How you can do the need assessment: either have a group discussion with the employees or with the colleagues. You can have a meeting with the higher ups, meeting with the professionals, or meeting with the trainers, and maybe you can have certain visits with the other employees, or visits to the offices of the employees in order to know their performance, or their gap, or the needs they have identified to conduct a training. The need assessment analysis will help to prioritize for expanding HRD efforts, defining specific training and objectives, and establishing evaluation criteria. So need analysis will help actually you to prioritize those kind of efforts which are required under the HRD process, and the need assessment phase will also tells you what kind of evaluation criteria you have to design. So the second phase is the designing phase. After identifying the certain gaps or the needs, now you have to define objectives. You have to clearly state what you want to achieve. And then according to the objectives, you have to develop your lesson plan, how you will execute those activities. activities, what will be the required materials, who will deliver, who will be the resource person, selecting and developing program content, selecting methods and techniques, and then scheduling the training program. So under the learning strategies, you can have a self-study methods. Might be you can give certain handouts to the participants and they will read, and then you will evaluate them through different exams or the question answer sessions or brainstorming session. The learning strategies can also involve lectures by the resource person, by the trainers, talks, and then lessons. You can also add discussions, seminars, colloquia, or symposia. The learning aids and skills, you can add all those, or might be you can just focus on one, two, or some. The posters, videos, real objects, demonstration, practical activities, case studies, drama, role play, or hypothetical projects are some of the learning aids and skills which you can use for the training program. Resources. While designing all the program, you have to focus on three major resources. Obviously, the human resource, the participant, as well as trainers. You are required, what kind of human resource you are required, how many human resource you are required, you have to mention in your program. Environmental resources, like for instance, if you have to conduct a training outside the classroom or in the open air, you have to focus on the natural environment, or even within the classroom, you have to focus on the learning environment or the learning conducive environment. The man-made resources, for instance, if you have to use a technology, multimedia, sound system, all these things, you have to manage well before the time. Now you are ready at the third stage, which is the implementation phase, to deliver the program. So while delivering programs, keep in mind that might be you can have certain issues which were not in your mind. Might be it can be these are accidental incidences. For instance, there is raining, there is a strike which are not planned, and the resource person or the participants are not coming, or might be resource person is sick, they're not able to deliver whatsoever. So certain issues can arise at the implementation phase. So as being a manager or being a trainer or being a member of those HRD training program, you have to keep those issues in mind, how you will solve and how you will address those issues at the implementation phase. In the implementation phase, you have to keep certain other things in your mind, like initial arrangements. You have to coordinate with all those who will help you for the logistic arrangements. For instance, many times you have seen that when we are organizing certain events at the department, we are coordinating with various other departments. We need sweepers, we need attendants, we need people who can manage our refreshment, who can manage our registration desks, all these. So all realistic arrangements we have to, even for the multimedia and sound system, we request the IT department and the sound system department to help us to arrange this program. So all kind of initial arrangements you have to arrange before the time, or even at the of the training, you also have to focus on those logistic arrangements. This coordination with the facilitators actually help you to implement training programs at the right time and in a very efficient way. Before you begin, you must have a planned activities, just like a workshop program. The activities during the learning session must be ready. For instance, if you need handouts during the training sessions, it must be ready before starting the training program. And what kind of activities will be conducted at the end of the program, like evaluation or an assessment form you have to fill. You have to plan and get ready those forms at the first day of the workshop or at the start of the workshop. Now, after implementing the training program, you have to evaluate those programs. You have to determine program effectiveness with respect to effectiveness, reflection of the participants' learning, employees' reaction, and feedback to the organizers and facilitators. These evaluations help managers to think about continue to use particular techniques, offer it again, what are the true costs, can we do it in another way or in a better way. It also helps learners to think about themselves, what kind of useful skills they have learned, overcome some insecurities, and how to share problems with the others. So the next question arises when to evaluate. You have a number of options. You can do the evaluation during the sessions, at the end of session, or at the end of whole program, or might be the follow-up evaluation. Follow-up evaluation, for instance, you can send them a form after a week or a few days and then get them a feedback and how they are using those skills in their practical life. For evaluating, you can use the exams, questionnaires, participation, etc. You can have a small group discussion, or you can give them an evaluation checklist, or with the regular sessions, you can also conduct the evaluations. Criteria for evaluation, what types of questions you have to ask. Might be you can ask the questions regarding facilitators, regarding logistic arrangements, or the course contents. This is the end of the HRD process lesson.